And if he's coming back off an Achilles injury, where even pre-Achilles tear was a really good athlete, but he wasn't like an S-tier athlete. So now he's going to be a little less quick.
Comparisons are the thief of joy. That's why we see these dumb takes on Jayson Tatum. If he comes back to the Celtics, he's going to hurt the team. What?
If Jayson Tatum is going to come in, he's going to play 28 minutes. He's just coming back playing. He's going to be like the fourth option. He will help move the needle, but he's not going to help dominate and be a contributor in dominating and helping them get over that threshold.
Jayson Tatum, the face of the Boston Celtics, is pondering a decision that could unravel everything his team has built. A 5-time All-NBA talent, fresh off leading his squad to a title, now wonders if stepping back onto the court might actually harm them. The Celtics, once written off as lottery fodder, have morphed into a powerhouse without him, raising a question that shakes the NBA to its core. What if the hero's return turns him into the villain? This bizarre predicament stems from a devastating injury that should have sidelined Tatum for the entire 2025-26 season. Last May, during Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks, Tatum ruptured his Achilles tendon, a nightmare injury that has derailed careers. Think of Kevin Durant, who sat out a full year after his tear, or Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton, both opting to miss this entire campaign for similar reasons. Medical experts typically recommend 12 to 18 months of recovery to avoid re-injury, as the Achilles is crucial for explosive movements like jumping and cutting. Rushing back risks not just a setback, but permanent damage, turning a star into a shadow of himself. Yet here we are with Tatum eyeing a return in as little as 9 to 10 months, practicing with the G League main Celtics and scrimmaging in controlled settings. It's a timeline that's aggressive, almost reckless, and it spotlights the high-stakes gamble facing Boston. The Celtics' response to Tatum's absence was nothing short of a roster overhaul, one that screamed rebuild rather than reload. They traded Kristaps Porzingis, shipped Jrue Holiday to Portland in exchange for Anthony Simons, let Al Horford depart in free agency, and waved goodbye to Luke Cornett. This wasn't tweaking, it was dismantling the core that hoisted banner 18 in 2024. Analysts pegged them as a play-in team at best, a gap-year squad destined for the draft lottery.
Do you really need him to beat Jayson Tatum? They're number 2 right now without him.
If he comes back, he's not even number 2. He might be 4.
Him at 4 is better than damn near everybody 4 in the league right now. If you don't feel like you can win, I'll rest him. Feel like you got a chance this year, why not?
The narrative was clear. Without Tatum's 26.8 points per game from last season, Boston would crumble. But reality flipped the script in spectacular fashion. As of mid-February 2026, the Celtics boast a 35-19 record, securing second place in the Eastern Conference. Their offensive rating ranks second league-wide at 121 points per 100 possessions, and their net rating sits third at plus 7.6. Since December 1st, they've dominated with the NBA's best record, top offensive efficiency, and premier net rating. This isn't luck. It's a testament to reinvention, proving that sometimes subtraction sparks addition. At the heart of this resurgence is Jaylen Brown, who is elevated from co-star to unequivocal MVP frontrunner. Brown's numbers are eye-popping: 29.4 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 4.7 assists per game, placing him 4th in league scoring. He's shattering personal bests in field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. If he maintains this pace, it'll mark the highest single-season scoring average in Celtics history, surpassing legends like Larry Bird and Paul Pierce. But Brown's impact transcends offense. Defensively, opponents convert just 39.37% of shots when he's the primary defender, ranking 2nd among non-bigs. Draymond Green, a 4-time champion, publicly declared Brown as potentially the NBA's best player right now, questioning why he's not higher in MVP voting. In December, Brown averaged 31.7 points on 53.8% shooting and 42.6% from 3, including a 50-point masterpiece against the Clippers, where he also volunteered to guard Kawhi Leonard. This feat aligns him with an elite Celtics club. Only Tatum, Bird, Sam Jones, and Isaiah Thomas have multiple 50-point games in franchise history. Brown calls this his favorite season, and it's easy to see why. For once, the spotlight is solely his. No debates about who's 1A or 1B. He's an all-star starter, a top 5 MVP candidate, and the team is winning. Inserting Tatum back in could demote Brown to sidekick status, potentially fracturing the confidence that's fueled this dominance. Yet Brown's heroics alone don't explain the Celtics' ascent. The emergence of young wings Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez has forged a new defensive identity, turning Boston into a swarming, relentless unit. Walsh, the 38th pick from the 2023 draft out of Arkansas, was a marginal player last year, logging just 8 minutes per game in 52 appearances. This season, he's transformed into a defensive menace. Opponents shoot 7.2% below expected when he's on the floor, landing him in the 96th percentile league-wide. His 7'2" wingspan and violent defending style, coined by his college coach Eric Musselman, have neutralized stars. Tyrese Maxey went 1 for 9 against him, and he's held his own versus Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Walsh ranks in the 85th percentile for blocks, 88th for steals, and 95th for defensive rebounding among wings, all at age 21. In a career-high 38 minutes against the Cavaliers, Coach Joe Mazzulla praised him as the key to elevating the team. Then there's Gonzalez, the 28th pick in the 2025 draft from Real Madrid, a 20-year-old rookie with the NBA's highest net rating. Boston's defense plummets to 103 points per 100 possessions with him playing, 11.7 better than the team average. He's plus 111 in total plus-minus among rookies, shooting 47.1% while excelling in perimeter isolation, 88th percentile, pickpocketing 86th, and passing lanes 79th. Gonzalez even drained a game-tying 3 in overtime against the Nets and became the first Celtics rookie since Tatum to notch 10 rebounds and 2 blocks in a game at 19 or younger. These aren't fill-ins, they're foundational pieces, giving the Celtics a youth-infused edge that's propelled them forward. Compounding the intrigue is Boston's trade deadline maneuver, flipping Anthony Simons to the Chicago Bulls for Nikola Vucevic. Simons was a solid bench spark, averaging 14.2 points and 39.5% from 3, including a 39-point outburst against Miami. Vucevic, a two-time All-Star, brings 16.9 points, 9 rebounds, and 37.6% three-point shooting, uniquely amassing 400-plus rebounds and 80-plus threes this season. This addresses the void at center left by Porzingis and Horford, but whispers from the Boston Globe suggest the deal signals Tatum's impending return. Why keep a scoring guard when Tatum's offense supersedes him? The Celtics are constructing around his comeback, betting on his integration to push them over the top. Still, this roster was forged in his absence, raising alarms about disruption. Tatum's own words amplify the shock. On the Pivot podcast, he confessed, "If or when I do come back this season, like they would have played 50 some odd games without me, how does that work? How does that look? With me integrating myself off an injury, do I come back or should I wait?" This vulnerability from a franchise cornerstone is stunning. In media sessions, he elaborated on his hyper-awareness. "You think about a lot of things. I know what I bring to the table, but I'm also aware that these guys have been playing extremely well." He insists professionals will figure it out, citing high basketball IQ across the board. But history warns otherwise. Celtics fans recall the 2018-19 squad stacked with Kyrie Irving, Tatum, Brown, Horford, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Marcus Morris, and a returning Gordon Hayward from a gruesome ankle injury. That group, expected to contend for a title, imploded amid chemistry issues, bowing out in 5 games to the Bucks. Hayward's reintegration clashed with the identity built without him. Young players like Tatum and Brown had claimed starring roles, leading to resentment over shifted minutes and touches. Tatum's case echoes this peril. Physically, he's progressing remarkably, but rust and restrictions loom. After 9 months sidelined, he'll likely start with 20 to 28 minutes per game, not his usual 35 plus. Brown, thriving as the alpha, might resent deferring. Derek White's 17.4 points and 5.5 assists as secondary scorer could dip. Peyton Pritchard, who exploded for 42 points starting against Cleveland, and the defensive duo of Walsh and Gonzalez all have carved niches. Squeezing Tatum in means someone's role shrinks, potentially breeding discord. Charles Barkley voiced concerns on Inside the NBA. "I got a bad feeling. Normally, when guys have an Achilles, they're out for a year." The quote, "Comparisons are the thief of joy," from the discussion rings true. Measuring this team against past versions ignores its unique groove. So, what paths lie ahead? First, Tatum returns for the regular season's end, ramping up gradually. Mazzulla views disruption positively. "If we get him back, we're just a better team." Brad Stevens emphasizes full clearance and peace of mind. Upside, adding Tatum catapults Boston to favorites in a wide open East. Downside, limited games, 10 to 15 to gel, risking playoff stumbles. Second, he sits the year, prioritizing health like Durant, 18 months, or Klay Thompson, over a year. Chris Broussard reported Tatum's reevaluation, logical for longevity. But with the team contending, benching himself feels like forfeiting a shot at glory. Third, the nightmare. Return flops, echoing 2018-19. Chemistry phrase, underdogs become disjointed, and a promising season crumbles. Ultimately, Tatum must return if cleared. His versatility, on-ball, off-ball, post-ups, pick and roll, at 80% still upgrades the squad. He's adaptable, not ball-dominant like Luka Doncic or James Harden. Yet success hinges on Mazzulla's coaching finesse, gradual integration, preserving Brown's momentum, valuing the youngsters. This could define Mazzulla's legacy, turning potential catastrophe into triumph. The Celtics saga isn't just basketball, it's a human drama of ego, resilience, and reinvention. If mishandled, it could etch Tatum's return as one of the NBA's most ironic downfalls. But handled right, it might forge an unbreakable dynasty. The world watches breathless as Boston teeters on this knife's edge.